a monster.
I'm your number one fan.
Now clear your minds. Notice what scares you. It has from the very beginning.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
Just been informed that zombies have entered the building. They're at the door. They're coming in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Frosty. Alongside me, as always, Tony.
What up? What up?
And last and certainly not least, we got Corey in the house.
Going on, brother?
So what's up, guys?
It
It is officially April Fool's, but this is no joke. We are taking a deep dive into probably one of the coolest home invasion movies I've seen in a long time. You're Next. It was actually supposed to come out in 2011. Apparently, it got pushed.
Oh, wait a minute. I might have been watching the wrong one. I thought we were watching the porno You're Next.
Oh boy! Oh my God!
There's a different invasion going on in that one.
Fun fact: they all wear masks in that one too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I got a quick question for you guys. Would you guys consider this more of a home invasion movie or a slasher film? Mm-hmm.
Both, maybe.
Yeah. Because I was kind of, it kind of has that thing where it's like, what do you lump this film into? Like the slasher genre or the home invasion genre? I don't know.
Australian slasher.
Yeah. It can kind of go both ways. Hell, it's an action horror film too, technically. So
yeah.
You know what? That's tough because slasher. When you think of a slasher film, you think of one killer.
Yeah.
Iconic killer of that film. So that's kind of tough. But I could see it being a home invasion film at the same time with given the intro, because they had even no clue what was going on. They just didn't want any loose ends, to come unraveled. They wanted to tie everything up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it had that home invasion template.
It definitely has a feel for a home invasion film. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Were they not in their home, or was their home not invaded?
Their home was indeed invaded.
Was via crossbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dinner always goes so nice until you get a crossbow through your forehead.
Or be an asshole brother calling you fat.
Dude, I love that. I love that scene too. They did that well because it's so chaotic. Because you can tell this family is really dysfunctional.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, there's so much fighting and fucking bickering going on. So when that scene happens, no one even really notices it. He's just like in the background with a fucking arrow stuck to his head, just like, just I don't know, just like it's hard to explain what he's doing. He's like the Frankenstein walk, the Frankenstein monster walk, just kind of like lumbering in the background.
Who was that guy?
That was Ty West, man. Really phenomenal horror director.
It's funny because in the movie, he was playing the part as being this like super novice indie director, and he was so proud that like his movie had gotten some recognition in like the Underground Film Festival, and the dude was like, "What the hell is that?"
Is that why they show films underground?
And then he's like, "You should do commercials." And the dude is like, so upset.
You guys want to just change this whole podcast and we do, because the true art these days is commercials. Maybe we should just start doing reviews on commercials.
Yeah, we should just be a commercial podcast.
I got dibs on Doritos.
Got dibs on Taco Bell.
Oh, damn it, Tony. I was going to take that one.
Well, Tony has to take Taco Bell because he's a Mexican.
Ooh. No.
I just get fucking Taco Bell.
Yeah. He's actually, I just eat a shit ton of Taco Bell.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious until you get home and your tummy starts growling.
Yeah. What's not good is what happens to that toilet when you... Oh, man. Crack the forces.
To quote Letterkenny, is that your tummy grumbling, or is that used proper?
Oh, that's true.
So yeah, we're taking a dive into You're Next. It is like a slasher home invasion film, really good film. Probably one of the coolest final girls ever.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Definitely the
totally.
most badass final girl of all time.
Yeah, like
Mm.
I used to revere Sydney Prescott up there as like being one of the coolest final girls ever. And she still is, considering that she's been through this traumatic experience over and over and over again. But this girl, like, I don't know. I think if this girl was around whenever the Scream killings had happened, I don't think there would have been another one.
Oh no. Would stop at one.
Yeah, no doubt.
Randy would still be alive.
Fucking Randy! Bring up Randy. Now I'm in a
Had to
bed.
do it. Had to do it.
You know what? I think that he would have been actually. You're right, Tony.
Yeah, dude. Randy would have survived. We would all be happy. I mean, it
Mhm.
would have been beneficial for everybody had Aaron been in Scream.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Randy. But yeah, dude, she's definitely like she is so resourceful, and like when shit hits the fan, like she doesn't even think twice, man. She's like right on it. She's trying to save everybody. She's trying to, keep everybody like down and like don't get up. They're shooting crossbows in the house and shit. Like use the chair as your shield, and like she's just like
Mhm.
really like on it, and it's so cool, man.
Well, I like how she's, at first when you get to first meet her, she's just a sweet innocent girl who you think is essentially the survival girl, right?
Yeah,
I mean, she gives off that, that innocence and everything,
Mhm.
and to that extent, she does have innocence. It's just the fact that she's just a badass killing machine built in, and it's just not there usually.
Right.
Um,
She is the
and then
epitome
on
of
top of
survival
it,
girl.
well,
Because she did, in fact, grow up in a survival camp.
Yeah,
true,
she's
true. But the thing is she's with a guy who, for lack of better words, kind of a pansy.
yeah, he's
You
a
know?
pacifist. They say. He's a
Yeah, passive. He actually says that he's a
He actually
pacifist.
says it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
so
guy who says I'm a pacifist needs to get punched in the throat.
kind of like the other guy did. That was badass. She punched him square in the throat.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that. Oh man, yeah. Aaron's a cool ass character. You know me. I love strong survival women,
Yeah.
strong character. Female characters, and she definitely fits the bill on that. I
Right,
think,
and it
I
adds
think I
so
did.
much.
If I'm not mistaken, I did an episode a while back where I was, just recording myself, and I actually did like the top 10. It was a top 10 list of like most badass women in horror genre for me, and Erin was one of them.
Yeah, she definitely
Yeah.
deserves to be on that list, man.
Hmm.
And you know what's crazy? Like they set her up to where, like you said, she's like really like just a genuine sweet person. Like I look at the scene where she's like, she goes into the kitchen with Barbara Crampton's character, the mom, and she's like, "Do you need me to do anything for you?" Like she's just genuinely like a sweet person, like wants to help out and wants to be, included and just pull her weight or whatever. And it's really like that really adds to like what happens when the shit hits the fan and she
Hmm.
has to turn into that badass. I think that adds a layer to it because it really showcases like this chick can just like do it all. Like she's completely, like I said, resourceful is what I keep saying when I think about her. She just whatever's around, she'll use it to her benefit. She'll make which we'll talk about later with a certain kitchen appliance.
Yes.
So yeah, dude, she is she like we said, she's a badass, but she's very resourceful as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So what did you think about the different characters of the film other than just Aaron?
Well, she's definitely the standout. I mean, and that's saying something because there's some pretty interesting characters in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, like every character had their own, like the dad just kind of had his, you know, um, I don't know, just kind of like relaxed, kind of don't give a damn kind of attitude. Um, Barbara Crampton's character was like, of course, the she was on meds. They made that clear. She had some issues. She was on meds, probably from her dysfunctional family.
She was also very elegant too, for some reason. Like, well, I mean, obviously this is a rich family, but she played herself off really, really elegant. Between the dress, the hairstyle, the jewelry, stuff like that, and even her demeanor, the way she acted.
Right.
You know.
Then you had the children. They were a basket case, weren't they? Of course you had
The only sane one was the sister.
Yeah. That is true. And even she was like a little, I'm daddy's little girl, nothing can touch me kind of deal,
Yeah, you can tell she was like the spoiled one out of the group of kids, like no doubt.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention, like, this was when this film came out. I mean, it was shot in 2011, but this was like Barbara Crampton's big like return to horror. Like, this was a big deal. I remember it. Oh shit, Barbara Crampton's going to be in a horror film. It's been a while, so we were all like pretty hyped up on seeing her in a horror film again. And then since this movie, she's actually went on to kind of have like almost like a career resurgence where she's been in a lot of really, really solid horror flicks. So it's really cool. Like, this was the movie that kind of catapulted her back into the genre.
Well, and you and I discussed this yesterday, Tony, which we'll get on it in a little bit. But I did have a small tangent with her acting in this film. But other than that, of course, I loved her. She's a great actress. But there was something that I just didn't care for.
You're mad because you didn't get to see her tits.
Is that it, Corey?
No.
They've aged like fine wine.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can go ahead and talk about it real quick.
We can.
Yeah. So it really comes down to her acting, and I get it. This was the first time in a while that she's acted in a horror film, and nowadays I'm going into a film more so critiquing it than I am just sitting back and just watching it for what it is. And I didn't pick up on this when I first watched the film, and some of the other times I watched the film, but this particular time I did. I just noticed that when her daughter died, she had a weird grieving process where she just wanted to moan and make these whimpering sounds that were like childlike, and it was just honestly getting under my skin. And it's almost like I kind of wish that the editor or whoever of the film edited a portion of that out. Like, yeah, leave some of that in because obviously she is grieving. That's her child that got killed, and I get it. She's got some issues already. But I didn't need like a 2-minute long segment of her whimpering in a bed, or however it was. But it was kind of, to me, it was not needed as much.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, she dies.
But I mean, the whole port where her husband's there and she's like, stay with me, and he's like, I gotta go check on the others, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, leave that in and leave some of the grieving in, but not all of it. It was just kind of, to me, it was less needed in the film. But that's my only problem with this entire film.
Wasn't that the build up though to the reveal that the killer was under the bed?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
They could have done that a little bit sooner though.
No. Well, you know how they do. They'll drag stuff out in horror movies. They always, like a jump scare's coming. Yeah. And then there's the times where like you think it's coming and it doesn't, but then it like 5 seconds later it comes.
Just to throw you off. Yeah, that was a great reveal when he was under the bed, and oh man, that was awesome. when he slowly crawled out. That was cool.
Mm.
Dug it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think the killers in this movie, the killers in this movie were awesome.
They were, dude.
Like, you know, and they all have the different mask on. You got like the lamb and the fox and the tiger or whatever, and like it all seems kind of silly at first, but it's really not. It's actually really freaking cool.
I wanted to mention when this movie came out on Blu-ray, when it first got like a physical media release and it started coming, people were going like fucking ape shit over the masks. They wanted to actually acquire them because there was I can't remember who was selling them, but somebody was selling them and people were going ape shit.
Dollar General.
Oh,
I think they were at Walmart actually.
Man, I just saw, when I was in the, a couple of the groups I'm in horror and like different horror groups I'm in, and people were posting them left and right. Like, oh, dude, I got the tiger mask, or I got the fox mask, or whatever. Like, they were stupid. They were like stupid, like excited about it. So the mask took off. I dug them because they're kind of like generic, like just plain, like just an animal mask. So I dug that. I thought that was pretty cool, given the context of the movie. So I didn't know. I just didn't know that they would take off the way they did. Like it was big for like a really, really short amount of time. And then now I don't see anybody post them or anything. But when it came out, dude, the hype behind this movie was insane, dude. It was crazy. But
yeah, I remember when it was being advertised. I thought it looked really cool, but then like I just never had a chance to watch it, until now. But yeah, I mean the killers had this. Like at first it was just like, okay, it's one dude in a mask, and then as you're watching, it's revealed that there's actually multiple killers, and these guys are pretty ruthless, and apparently some of them are ex-commando, like, so I guess they're mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the two brothers served together.
Yeah.
And it's alluded to the third killer might have served as well.
Yeah, which makes it even cooler that our protagonist Aaron was able to take him out.
Oh yeah. Added more to her badass character for sure. Like she's able to take out these guys that were in the military and that are like skilled at like killing. He's fucking taking them out left and right. I mean,
that's not a knife. This is a knife. This is a blender.
I like the fact that towards the end, when everything's kind of revealed, and a certain someone is talking to the killers, he's like, "You guys keep getting taken out by a girl."
Yeah. So condescending, like.
Mm-hmm. But it's, I enjoyed the killers in the film. Actually, Tony, it's funny we're talking about the masks, and something kind of triggered a little bit. Did you almost get a feel, like just the way that they kind of acted, or I guess the way that they approached killing people in the film? Didn't it almost have kind of a Strangers feel to it?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I don't know if it was the way the movie was shot, but I definitely got a Strangers vibe from this, for sure. I noticed that too. Even when you look at the poster art, kind of has a Strangers look. I don't know. It's. I thought about that a lot when I was watching this film. It's actually the first time I actually thought about it. So I've seen this movie probably about five or six times, and that's the first time I thought about it was with this viewing for the review. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, it almost kind of, and maybe that's where we're getting the vibe of Home Invasion right there.
Yeah, well, yeah, that goes with it too. Yeah, for sure. That's same kind of premise almost, and you got three killers too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Never put that together until this time, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why, but I mean, I know this movie came out not too long after the Strangers came out, because I think the Strangers came out in 2008, and then this was shot in 2011. So it kind of right after.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they took a little bit of influence, because I think Simon Barrett and Adam Wingard and there's somebody else involved in the production. But these guys are horror fans, so they, you know, they use their influences and stuff, and I mean, you can kind of see it in their films. There's another movie they did called The Guest, which is amazing. So that's got a lot of similar, like they'll pull stuff from different films they've seen and that are big fans of, and they'll kind of add it into their film. So saw a lot of that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, Strangers vibe, no doubt, dude. Good call on that. Definitely.
So, would you say well, since we're on the subject of some of the characters, what do you think about the banter between the brothers?
Oh man, it's some of the funniest shit in the movie. I mean, especially the older brother Drake. Oh man,
Yeah.
he was cracking me up, man. All the little, because it, like, his dialogue, there'd be so much chaos going on. So his dialogue, if you don't really pay attention to it, kind of goes unnoticed. But it's like the little funny, like little quips that he keeps throwing out there when everybody's freaking out. Like when they're talking about like who's the fastest and who should just take off running. He's like, I'm the fastest, but I got a fucking arrow in my back. He's like, what does that have to do with you running? It's a fucking arrow in my back. Oh, just I was dying.
I think my favorite line there is at one point, what's his name? The fat brother. I can't think of his name.
It's a weird name.
Crispin?
It's like Crispin. Yeah.
Crispin, yeah. So yeah, Crispin's like, I think I can make a run for it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the dude with an arrow stuck in his back is like, "You can't run fast. You're fat." like he's on the verge of dying. He's got an arrow stuck through his fucking back, and yet he's still gonna just calls brother fat.
Well, you could tell he was like the bully older brother. Like he would give.
You could also tell that he could get away with a lot of bullshit from his parents too. Seems like.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it's because he's like the older brother or what, but yeah.
You know, we're gonna be getting into spoiler territories for anyone who hasn't seen the film. You might want to go ahead and shut it off. Go watch it; it's great. But the scene where he dies when he's getting stabbed by like a million screwdrivers,
dude. Yeah,
I was really like, as much as I hated to see him die, I was really hoping he would like throw out one last chirp before dying.
Yeah.
Just
You're
be like,
for it, you know?
just be like, you're still a pussy. Dies.
You know what I was waiting on first time watch? That scene where he's getting stabbed over and over again. I was waiting on like the end of the film, and she's like survived, and like he's crawling out of the fucking basement. I was waiting for that to happen.
If that guy survived at the end, he has to be like an X-Men or something. Like that's insane. Like, he had a fucking arrow in his back. He got stabbed with like 5 or 6 screwdriver. Oh man, he would have been like a trooper if he would have made it. But yeah, to Daniel's point when he brings that up, there's a lot of times during this film where I wouldn't say your emotions, but kind of like your emotions are just like on a roller coaster. You're laughing 1 minute, you're shocked 1 minute, there's so much, like it's like an assault, of the senses almost, where you're just like, you can't brace yourself for what's going to happen next. It's like, it's chaotic. And, I found that because I think that's maybe why, and it would have been funny if he would have like said one more quip at the end when he was getting stabbed. But I think they were really pulling for like an emotional scene with that, considering it was like the brother doing it. So
except his brother was like, why don't you fucking die already?
Yeah. I think in that moment there's that comical relief right there.
Exactly.
That you're waiting on.
Right. And I was gonna say,
like, God, this is hard enough. Why are you here? Because he actually says that. He's like, this is really hard on me. Like, why are you doing it?
There's a lot of dark humor in this movie too, man. Wow. Holy shit. There's one joke in particular that's like, wow, they went there. I can't believe that. Well, I guess we are in spoiler territory, right?
Go ahead.
I'm talking about the girlfriend when he's laying on the bed.
Oh,
Yeah, that's really
That
fucking.
shit.
You don't realize like how dark and twisted she actually is. I mean, she's straight up pulling like a what was that the female serial killer, Laverne Fisher or whatever. She's really pulling that vibe off, you know.
Yeah, she definitely pulled a dark vibe off, man. You could tell she was in it just solely for the money. Like that's all she cared.
when it got to that scene, though, I was like, "Is that the same bed his mom died on?"
Oh, yep.
And I was like, "It is. What is she doing?" And then she's like, "I want you to fuck me on next to your dead mom." I'm like, "No, no."
And
It
then
would have
he's
been
like,
really perfect had he pushed her off and been like, "Now you're crossing the line."
right, was fine, but that's where the line's drawn.
Oh no, his morality kicked in.
Yeah.
At that moment. It was like, this conversation is over.
Yeah, he's like, she's like, well, you never want to do anything interesting. He's like, I don't think that's a fair criticism. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, that's probably some of the darkest humor in the movie. It came out of nowhere. I remember in the theaters when that happened, people were losing their fucking mind. Like people were cracking. I was surprised that actually went over well in the theater, something like that.
That was different times.
Yeah, it was.
No, now Peter Pan's canceled because reasons.
Fucking ridiculous.
Meanwhile, horror's over here like. I
love the job.
I feel like we are jumping around a little bit here, but I will have to say my favorite line was delivered by Aaron at the end of the movie when it's revealed what had happened. For those still listening who have seen the movie, spoilers, you find out that not only is Felix, the brother, in on it and hires the killers to kill his family, but you also find out that Crispin, her boyfriend, was in on it. And there's a scene where he tries to call on Felix right after Felix dies, which I had a feeling that something was up with Crispin because he disappeared and like they never showed him again.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, something's up. Either she's gonna find him dead later, or he's gonna come save the day last minute or something, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that out of him at all.
Yeah. But he calls Felix, she answers the phone. She can hear him. Well, he can hear breathing on the phone. So he automatically assumes it's Felix. So he starts just spilling his guts, in typical cinema fashion. And he goes into the house and he sees her standing there all bloodied, holding a knife. And he's like, "Where's Felix?" And she goes, "He's in the kitchen dead. I stuck a blender in his head and killed him."
He's like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, I've been there, right?
I like how he tried persuading her with like $500,000.
Yeah.
He clearly says, "I'm now the sole, what is it?
The sole heir of all the fortune.
Yeah, of all the fortunes of my parents." And then he's like, "We're gonna make millions." And then he was like, "I could pay off your student loans." He goes, "I could go ahead and give you $500,000. It's like, that's it.
How about the fact that they were allegedly broke?
Mm-hmm.
He did mention that, like, they were paying these killers, but then they were going to turn around and frame the killers or some shit. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Well, I remember the younger brother Felix, who was kind of like, he seemed like he was the spearhead, like the leader of everybody, like organizing wise. He mentions to one of the killers when they're talking that he can't, like, he's going to give him, because the two killers are brothers, so one of the brothers gets brutally just destroyed by, I think it was like a
It's like fucking
meat
mallet.
tenderizer.
Meat tenderizer, yeah.
Something like that, but he just gets his head just completely imploded by this thing by Aaron.
Stainless steel.
Yeah, the killer, one of the killers comes in and sees it, and he starts flipping out. and he's telling Felix, listen, like he's like, you want to talk about family? He's like, that's my family down there, and he's laying there dead and shit. He's like, well, I can give you his half. It's only fair. He's like, but I can't get you the money until the inheritance comes through. He's like, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. So he really didn't even pay him up front or anything like that. He's just banking on the fact that after this is done, he's gonna get his inheritance and he's gonna divvy it out to the three killers. And he's like, well, I'll just pay you your brother's half since, it's only fair. He's not, he's dead. So he's trying to like smooth it over and like, get him, because that dude was ready to fuck him up. Like he was pissed. So
if you're hiring someone that crazy, it's crazy enough to completely put all morals aside to kill your family.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't you pay him like half up front?
Yeah, or something,
I
right?
think there would be a down payment involved there.
Yeah. No doubt, man. That's a lot of trust in a guy. I don't know how well they knew each other, but you're doing all this killing and shit like that, and he hasn't paid you a dime yet.
Right.
And I know, I get it. He can't pay him anything because he's got no money. He's like, the dude seemed like he was broke, like really broke. So I get it, but it's like, damn, I don't know how well these guys knew each other, but you had to have been very trusting just to go along with this, and not see a dime up front.
Yeah, he's broke. That's why he's shopping for phone jammers online for $30.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
that
was very ironic that he brings that up. He's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you can get them online for like $30. Like, how would you know that? Why are your phones this way right now? Why can't you call out?
But I love, that was one of my favorite lines, is when he's explaining that to his family. Like the family's like pulling out their cell phones. We can't use their cell phones. What's going on? And then Felix is like hiding behind a wall. He's like, well, maybe they're using a cell phone jammer. He's like, I they're not legal, but you can get them on like the black market or whatever like that. And you can hear like the older brother say, Felix, you fucking low life. Only you would know about that. He's like, what, man? I'm just trying to help. I love that line, dude.
So here's an interesting theory for you guys. Okay, so you find out obviously Felix and Z and Crispin is behind all this. Everyone else was supposed to die except for Aaron. Aaron was supposed to live, that way she could be the quote unquote witness. What's your thoughts on, obviously Crispin could not pull this off by himself. There's no way. And maybe Felix with some connections. He seems like he's a shady character. But I bet you the brains behind all this operation is Z.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it seemed like Felix was like the leader because everybody kept going to him. But to me, I was thinking like maybe she's the one really like pulling the strings because she's got a lot of pull on him. So it's possible she could have been like the mastermind behind it. It's completely possible. I don't know. I'm kind of, that's interesting, like a theory. Like I wonder how much because she just seemed like she was going along with the flow, but I think behind the scenes she was kind of like adding a little bit more to it.
Until obviously Crispin, he's got a set of morals. He doesn't want to kill people. He doesn't want to see people injured. He's basically just going along with this for money. And I think Felix is honestly the same way because he even makes that comment with Drake in the basement where he's like, this is hard enough. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think it was Z.
Because
she shows no emotion when anything's happening.
Right.
Well,
she doesn't.
She's very interested in Aaron's backstory too. Because she starts asking a lot of questions to Aaron. How do you know how to do all this stuff?
Right. Well, she's also she has no connection to these people too because she just met them. Like she had no prior like relationship with these people at all because they were all meeting like for the first time because she was he was introducing her to his parents when they first got there. So you can tell that they had no prior relationship at all. So she was like the one that had complete disconnect. Like she had no emotion for these people dying or anything because, like I said, she didn't know them. So it was all about money to her. And you can tell too because there's that little scene where Felix leaves and she's on the bed when she tried to like bang him on the bed next to his dead mother, and like the camera kind of lingers on her, and she grabs her ring and puts it on, so you could tell it's all about like what she can get out of it. Like that's all she cares about. So it's a little subtle way of hinting at that.
Hey guys, I'm gonna pause the episode real quick. Let me go put Nathan back to bed.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're good, bud.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, this movie rocked, dude.
It's the first time you saw it, right?
Mm. Yeah, I wanted to see it when it came out, and I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah. I just remember the hype and the build up for this when it came out, dude, because it was Barbara Crampton's coming back she's going to do a horror film after. I think the last one she did was Castle Freak. That was like in the 90s. So she had taken a leave of absence, a long leave of absence. So there was a lot behind that. And then the hype built up even more because the movie it played on the festival circuit when it was shot, like I want to say it was around the tail end of 2011, maybe 2012. And then it took like a year for it to come out in the theaters. So people were like clamoring for it. They wanted to see it. It's one of those where it got completely swept up in the hype. And the crazy thing is a lot of people like it lived up to it because it was like, holy shit, like you didn't see this happen before. You didn't see a final girl that was this badass before. You didn't see like a plot kind of play out like this in a movie before. So it was really, it was almost like a breath of fresh air,
Yeah, that's the thing about final girls. Either they're like just strictly trying to survive and screaming their heads off in the process, or they're actually fighting like hell, even if they die. Like I would rather see them go down swinging. Like, a lot of times in movies they take women and make them fucking superheroes. Like to the point where it's like, okay,
it's absurd.
Yeah, it's like if they had a scene where Erin just fights off all 4 killers with her bare hands because she knew Australian martial arts. It's like, no, that would never fucking happen. Come on.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Yeah, exactly. So it was more believable.
Yeah, to keep it more believable.
Like 2 peeks in the window, gets stabbed in the eyeball. Like, I can see that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, she's smart too, man. She, when she first leaves the house, and one of the killers is after her, she doubles back and goes through the window to go back in the house because he's not going to expect her to do that. He's going to expect her to like run out in the woods or something. So that was smart too, man. She really is. The only thing that for her was she should have probably kept her cell phone muted or down, when she got that emergency contact back, because that's what gave her away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she realized because beforehand, obviously you don't plan on just muting your phone.
Right? Yeah. But I figure if you're, if all that's going on and you don't know where the killers are and stuff like that, probably not the best idea to keep your cell phone. If you put it on vibrate and you got it in your pocket, you can hear it, or not hear it, but you can feel it vibrating. You'll know what's going on. Because I know she was paying attention to that. Because she says there's like a little scene where she's like, if you text 911 or something like that, you'll get an emergency something like that. Because she was mentioning it to her boyfriend Crispin and a certain scene. But I remember she was waiting on that response. So I don't know. It's just a little thing. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Overall, I had a blast with this movie.
Oh, dude, this movie's fun. It's so much fun. I watch it constantly. I always pop it in and watch it. It's a blast. A lot of good, some good like dark comedy in it. It's got some great kills in it. There's just
it's realistic.
Yeah.
Like we were talking, just like we were talking about earlier, like they could have went overboard with it, but it was like, she was good at surviving. She did what she had to, to live. and just brain over brawn, really.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to see. Really cool to see that.
Absolutely.
She made some pretty believable moves.
Oh yeah.
Just the way she moved through the house, and she's incredibly smart. It was cool to see that. Instead of
Man,
just running around screaming.
that scene where she's up in the bedroom and the killer's in there, and she kind of looks over because she can tell he's behind her, and then without hesitation she jumps right out the window.
Well, she
Like,
she throws the meat
straight
grinder.
It's great. Yeah, dude. And she's got that huge shard of glass in her leg, and she's just slowly pulling it out, and it's like, oh god.
That's a big piece of glass, man.
The funny thing is, like, the movies I watched before this, I'm like, oh shit, that's like a thing. I never even realized it before. Like these final girls jumping through windows. Like I just noticed that. Like, damn, because I had just seen TCM, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Sally, like, she jumps through a window when Leatherface is chasing her, like the upstairs window. And then I saw it again when I was watching Friday the 13th Part 4. When Trish jumps out the window when Jason's after her. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if that was like a little nod to these really, really amazing, classic horror films.
Could have been.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I'm like, it's like a thing. I didn't even realize. Because sometimes you just don't realize this stuff until you really think, you're like, wait a minute. Because I had just seen these two movies before. I'm like, huh, pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a thing.
That had me kind of cringing a little bit when she was pulling the thing out slowly.
Oh yeah. Because you would think it's like, oh, it's a small little piece. No, dude, she keeps going and going and going. Like, damn, how fucking big is that shard?
Mm-hmm.
I guess before we close and give our final review or score or whatever, what's your favorite kill?
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh man. I mean, how could you not go with the blender scene? I
I got two of them in mind. So I got one, and then I've got a number one and a number two, really. So the blender scene, obviously, that's my number one because that's. I mean, when do you ever see that? That's amazing.
No, it's incredible.
It was kind of over the line a little bit, but it was.
I love the fact that she stuck it in his head and then had to plug it up. That was so great.
which had me thinking, like in that situation, that's that's crossing the line from self-defense. So you're gonna get in trouble for this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I mean, you blatantly murdered these people, but I mean at the same time,
In the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, it's like you're probably gonna get some flack for this one.
Oh, dude, which reminds me of that's another scene that had me cracking up was when she took the stuff in the pot on the stove and threw it at him. And he's like, "Oh, it's not even hot, you bitch!" And then he slipped on it and fell.
Dude, that scene.
That's pretty funny.
Every like part of that scene was just great. I just loved every minute of it.
I thought it was cool too how they kept going back to the kitchen. By the way, that's a small ass kitchen.
It really is, dude. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Giant ass house, small kitchen. But they kept they kept going back to the kitchen. Like she had the scene with her and Barbara Crampton in the kitchen. Barbara Crampton had walked into the kitchen, to get a glass of water. She went in there to get a knife. That was actually attacked through the window. That was a cool scene too. I jumped to that scene. Not gonna lie.
You don't see that coming.
Yeah, they kept having the scenes where she like where she walked in the kitchen to get some weapons like knives and that meat grinder from hell. She kind of stops and looks out the window, and then it's just funny how they go back to the kitchen at the end when she takes out Z and Felix.
Yeah.
I wonder what the symbolism that was there, or if it was just fuck it, we'll do it in the kitchen.
I don't know. Maybe because it was such a small area that kind of worked for that particular moment, because she's going to be, because she had to fight with both Felix and Z kind of in close combat right there. So that maybe that's it.
Make you feel claustrophobic, make it intense. We have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
The other kill that came in close to second for me was the one where the Drake's wife runs to the neighbor's house and she's beating on the door.
Dude,
oh man,
that's
one of my favorite kills too. Because I just like where
punches her through the window.
She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" It's like, nah, he's dead.
I got that written down on my notes too, man. I got that written down on my notes. That was my other one. Yeah, you got it, dude. Because I love how that whole scene plays out, and then just the subtle, like when the killer's done, he just sits on the couch next to the dead dude. He just stands there, and the music's playing.
You know what I wish? You know what I wish in that moment? I wish that he would have, after he got done killing her, just kind of turned and looked over at the dead guy. It's just two buds hanging out. I really like before that.
Oh, it's really dead in here.
I really like that before that whole scene went down, though, when she's like beating on that door or whatever, or the window or whatever. Mm-hmm. He appears almost kind of like a fade in. It reminded me of something in a Halloween movie. I could definitely see the shape doing that. Coming in slow in the frame behind her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, man. These filmmakers, I think they pulled a lot of like stuff that they love from like classic horror films and kind of subtly put it in here, and it really did it well. I mean, I think they did it well. You can tell these guys love the genre.
Yeah,
definitely. You can tell. There's some, you know what, dude? There's some things I noticed in this watch too. Knowing that what's his name, Crispin is guilty, like he's in on the whole plot as well. There's some things I noticed his character did. I'm like, oh shit, that's like a little tell. Because there's one scene where the dad looks at him and all the chaos where his daughter just died, and he's just like, why would anyone do stuff like this? And he kind of like looks in shame away for a minute. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool how they subtly put that in. Yeah. And there's another scene where he's talking to Aaron right before he's about to leave, and he's like, he tells her, he's like, just take care of yourself. And I'm like, just take care of yourself. When she's taking care of everybody, making sure everybody stays alive. The fact that he said that, I'm like, that's pretty interesting, because she was the only one that was supposed to survive.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I just noticed that on this viewing too. I'm like, paid any attention to that before, but that's pretty telling. Like he's telling her to just take care of herself, because of course that's part of the plan. They want her to survive so she can be the witness to everything. But lo and behold, no one was aware of her, survivalist background, so they had no idea that she was capable of doing any of that.
Oh yeah, that's the Under Siege effect. It's like, we're gonna hijack this train. Oh shit, this dude's an ex-Navy SEAL.
I just thought that was really cool, really clever. Those little clever things like that really keep you in it and make rewatchability so important, because like I said, I've seen this film a few times and I never paid any attention to that little piece of dialogue, and then that little piece of acting that he did where the dad's like, why would anyone do this? And he kind of looks away for a second, and you can tell he was in shame, like, because he was guilty. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm sorry, Daniel. What was your kill, man? What was the one that you liked? I didn't mean.
No, you're good, man. I'd have to say my favorite was the basement kill when she had the camera.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
That was
It kept
very
flashing.
You
And,
know what that reminded me of? And
That was-
again, it reminds me of a specific horror film, but People Under the Stairs.
Mm,
The scene with the kid with the coins and the candle.
yeah.
hmm.
You know, the killer went to that, and
Nice,
I was
dude.
thinking Saul. Like when that dude was in the apartment, and yeah, he's using the camera to flash.
That's what I thought of.
But yeah, she lured him in and beat the crap out of him. That was pretty awesome.
Really, really stylistic that kill.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty
It was
awesome.
it was so disorienting too, man. When I first saw it, especially in the theater when I was watching it, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like the flashing and shit. But
Yeah,
I mean, that kill's great. I really enjoy that one too. There's a lot of good ones in this one, but they're not like overtly gory like some of them. Like I think the most gory one is that blender one. But other than that, they really kind of shy away from the gore, which is surprising.
Which isn't, yeah, it's surprising, but it's not. At the same time, though, it makes it watchable for those who maybe not into that much. You know, like I can see my wife watching this movie and enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because too much gore for certain people might turn away. Like us, we don't give. You know, we're derelicts. We don't give a shit. Like go watch Evil Dead. But you know, I thought it was awesome. In closing, I guess we could throw out review scores. If we're doing a scale of 1 to 5, definitely giving this movie a 5. I absolutely love this movie. Thought it was great, and I highly recommend it.
One point before I actually do that, if you don't mind.
Nope.
One thing that I did want to say is the the ending. The ending with the cop.
Oh my gosh!
So she gets
talk about that.
Yeah, so she gets shot, and then the cop goes to call for backup, and then he goes through. Essentially, what she did was booby trap the front door, and she tries to stop him, but it's too late, and he gets, impaled by an axe.
You're next at the end.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh my gosh, that poor cop.
What I love about the ending is that it just leaves you hanging.
Yeah.
Because like, well, what happened to Erin after that? Did she bleed out? Did she die? How it definitely left your mind to the imagination of what occurred after. And that's what I like.
I'm sure she did some time.
They can't make a sequel unless they do this in a haunting period at this point. So because everyone's dead other than her, so they can't really do a sequel unless it's like going to be like a true crime story or something.
Poor cop. I love when he shot her. He just stood there for like 20 seconds. He was like, "What the hell? Like, what did I just walk into?"
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh, so you give it a 5-star rating?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what scale we're going by. I mean, I definitely would review this as high as I possibly could, just because I absolutely love this movie. I thought it was great. If you're into those intense thrillers, home invasion slashers, which I absolutely love and dig, then yeah. So I'm giving it 5 stars.
Very nice. Very nice.
Tony, what would you rate this thing on?
I'm gonna do the Letterbox rating. I rated it on Letterbox 4. So possible, like the highest you can do is 5. I did a 4. It's a solid 4.
Okay.
Probably could do a 4.5. I mean, this movie is great. I really enjoy it. It's a blast.
Well, I forgot to log it on Letterbox, so I've got to go back and do that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 as well. And honestly, it just comes down to some things that I could have seen done a little differently.
Mm.
And that's maybe me overly critiquing it a little bit. But, I look, for major things, the acting, the storyline, the score, everything, even editing and stuff like that. And honestly, when it comes down to it, the score was fun. We didn't talk about that,
Yeah,
but
we did.
especially when we did.
No, I don't think we did. I don't think we mentioned
No,
score.
we didn't. But when she starts getting into kind of like the Home Alone booby trap type situation, she you could hear this kind of certain tone, playing through, and I liked it.
Very synthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it added to it.
Yeah.
I almost felt like a somewhat of an Italian score in a sense, a little bit. I was like, ooh, this is cool. So I did pick up on that this time watching it. But yeah, overall 4 stars for me. Just obviously because of the whole editing sequence, I think could have been done a little bit better. But that's
4
me.
out of 5. Not enough Barbara Crampton boobies.
Aw.
Worst home invasion movie ever.
I mean, come on, you were probably trying to see if Felix and Z was going to get it on, right? I mean,
oh no! I was really hoping that would not happen, and it didn't. Like, I was having flashbacks of little Michael.
oh,
Mother.
me.
I love how this movie could flash you back to Burial Ground. That's good.
Not as bad as fucking Randy. Why'd you bring that up?
I had to, man. That's kind of our thing.
Hey,
Yeah,
he did a different tone. He said, "What if?" And maybe Randy could have survived. So he didn't dwell on the fact that Randy died.
Maybe he's not good enough.
Oh, let's face it. Like, Aaron could have fucked Billy and Stu up. No doubt.
Yeah. No.
Instead of him saying, "I'm feeling a little woozy," he would have said, "I'm feeling a lot of woozy."
Yeah. I can imagine her dropping like that, a fucking another TV on his head, and just, oh man, just tearing. Like, you could set her in any film, any slasher film, and she would just be a force, dude. Like, and she had a lot of charisma too. She was just a great character. Like, she's definitely the standout from this film, no doubt.
You know what though, Tony? You can't have Aaron in any, like, her character in any other horror films. There would never be a sequel.
Right. I'll just talk.
That's true.
If you pluck her out
It's
of,
like, yeah, here's Hatchet, and Hatchet's against Aaron. Well, there goes that. Guess we're not going to get the sequels.
Victor Crowley would get the fight of his life. I'll tell you that much.
This bitch crazy. She's from Australia, and she grew up in a survival camp, and so she grew up fighting spiders because Australia's terrifying.
I mean, it is, dude.
Yeah.
You got kangaroos, you got dingoes, you got.
Man, they
You
get
know
my buddy CJ on the show one day. He's from Australia. He can tell us about the horrors of Australia.
You need to watch some horror films from Australia.
Oh,
There's
dude,
some really good out there.
Oh, they're so good.
Ooh.
Mhm.
So many.
All
movies.
involving spiders.
Not enough spiders. There should be more spiders.
Mhm.
So that's us, ladies and gentlemen. You have listened to the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Now we're having to do house cleaning because we completely forgot to do it earlier. But if you want to follow us, just a reminder, we do have a Facebook group. Go to facebook.com, click on the search bar, type in the Midnight Monster Corner podcast. It is a closed group. Ask nicely. We will let you in. I'll let you in. Corey and Tony might try to hunt you down and kill you. With
Maybe
weird.
hire someone for it.
Touche. We are on Twitter. You'll follow us there at Monster_Corner. We're on TikTok at Monster Corner Midnight Monster 20.
Yeah, Midnight Monster 20.
Yep. And you can listen to us on YouTube. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, leave a comment. We'd greatly appreciate that. It'd help push the show. That'd be awesome. And also, you can listen to us on any podcast outlet, Podbean, iTunes, iHeartRadio, etc. So be sure to leave a review there as well. And with that being said, we are out of here.
Later, guys.
See you next week. You're next.